host Willie King Nyash, and today we want to look at top reasons to look at when you're looking for that person. And there's some questions you need to ask yourself when you're going out with that man, that woman. Do you feel safe physically? Do you feel safe emotionally? Is he or she trying to bring in issues that are bringing you down? What are some of these top reasons you need to check on? Let's hear from Coach himself.
And so, number one, of course, is safety. But when we talk of safety, we are talking about physical and emotional safety. Physical is, are there circumstances under which this person becomes animal-like and dangerous? Mm-hmm. They start throwing plates, start throwing things. Especially temper. People use anger and alcohol as an excuse to threaten you physically. It's wrong for somebody to put themselves in front of you as you move, or to talk so closely to you, to shout and to, in front of you, and they're worked up. That already is a physical threat. You feel physically unsafe. Are there circumstances under which this person becomes a threat to you, to your child, to anybody in your family? And if a person has the capacity to hurt you physically, why would you undress and switch off the lights and close your eyes and sleep in the same room with the same person? You know their capacity. But now you close a room, you close yourself in a room with them, and you switch off the lights, and you remove your clothes, and you
sleep in the same bed.
And they have fantasies for strangling you. They are angry. He can kill. If this lady says some things and you know those hints, they're not just jokes, why are you staying there? Let me remind you that neglect is very dangerous. What does neglect do? It allows problems to grow and close you in. Do not neglect when you know this person is unstable, when they're angry. Voice it, work, say you are unsafe, and take action. Don't allow people to keep on apologizing. I was drunk. You knew when you drink what you will do. If you cared, you would not have drunk, isn't it? When you know when I drink, I become a threat to the people I care about. I will not drink then. If you still value your drink, remain with the drink. If you are still putting the alcohol ahead of us and our well-being, obviously you are choosing the alcohol, and I'll be out. Let's remind people that you don't have to unlove people before you can leave them alone. You can leave people when you still love them because they are unsafe for you. As much as you love me, make sure you love you first. Love life first, not love. Are we together? You love life first before you love love. Don't be addicted to the idea of being with somebody in a relationship, in a marriage, more than you are addicted to the idea of being alive yourself. So that if they're threatening your life, you protect the life by running and say, I still love you, but now that you are threatening my life, and I also want to be alive. In your order of priorities, start with the life. Are we together?
Life,
not love.
Life is number one.
Yes.
Yes.
I would rather be alive.
Yes.
Without you.
After all, you can't love when you are gone.
Exactly.
Yes.
It may seem simple.
Yes.
But many people don't arrange their life that way. They continue pursuing love at the expense of their life.
Yes.
Some people don't threaten you with death. They threaten you with lack of peace. When you don't have peace, you don't have life.
Yeah.
Did you know life is measurable? The one who created life was talking about quantities of love.
Yes.
Quantities of life, that is. He was saying, I came that they may have life and have it in abundance.
Yes.
If you can have life in abundance, it means it's not an on and off. I can't tell you to switch off that light in abundance. The light is saying that on or
off.
There's no abundance. So if there is something abundance, it means more like the gauge, the power levels of an iron box.
Yeah.
There's level 1, level 2, the volume, abundance.
Yes.
Life has degrees. Some people can mute your life to minimum. So that you are half dead. You remember the guy was attacked by thieves, and he was not left half alive. The expression used there is he was half dead. Of course, when,
Not alive.
when you are half dead, you also half alive. But the more descriptive language was life and death have measurements.
Yes.
You can be half dead.
Death is more closer than...
You can be midway. So many people keep you half dead. No friends, no life, no social connections. You're not safe to interact with the people who used to build you. You have no safety and space. You don't have the freedom to build relationships, mentorships, things that add to your life. You have been made so unsafe that you have to cut them away. Why do we do that? Because we don't value life. We value love. And there's no love there because there's no safety. But as long as there's those emotional cramps of sweetheart, of babe,
Yes.
and sex. I told you because toxic sex is usually like a drug. It's a shot of cocaine.
Yes.
Gives you very high. Then you come back to crashing again. So people can get in that cycle, so that it is no longer safe being this person. One lady wrote a thing that I wish I'd carried it to read, saying we have called each other the worst names with this guy, my husband, and we have fought physically, we have been strangling each other and throwing things and chaotic. And how old are you? 25. Been together with him for 3 years. So she has started to self-reflect because she has reached 25, but the mind has grown. The mind has matured. The brain matures at 25. Now she comes on, what kind of life is this? And I tell her, confess your mistakes because you know them. Don't fool me. I don't allow pre-25s to fool me by acting they don't know what is happening. Please, you have been fooling other people, not me. When you come to me, tell the truth, because me and you know the nonsense you're doing. I always want to call, before you admit your stupidity, don't talk to me. I can't be the one to announce what you know you should be announcing. You know, they don't want to say it, so they don't have to deal with it. You understand? I told you the problem with atheists. Atheists know somebody must have designed all this complex body that maintains temperature by itself, digests food and milk and takes this one. No, there's a component to kill poison, the other one to take your, and this one. These multi-million cells that are working in perfect harmony without any supervision, there must be a coordinator. They know that part. But if they acknowledge there's a coordinator, they have to deal with him. That means submission to authority.
Yes.
That means accountability for behavior. That is ugly. So it is better we say, nobody created it. It came from a monkey. There was just a being allowed about. And then they all know that the gravity, if our gravity today was 1% stronger, the whole atmosphere would collapse. The whole universe would collapse into one ball. If it was 1% weaker, it would drift away until we don't have stars in the sky. Even gravity is precisely enough. The tilting of the earth, are you aware that if the earth tilted more, 1 degree, tilted more, the tilt of the earth, it looks like random, but it's exactly. If the earth untilted with a degree, there will be more freezing, there will be more snow, or there will be more melting. The earth can't afford to go away, and 1 degree is very big. I'm telling you what you can imagine. If the scientists tell you the degree of accuracy, the atmosphere this world needed to function, it's absurd to imagine. It was just random. You know, there was just an explosion. I did it. Nonsense. So the problem with the atheist, and the problem of my pre-25s who come here pretending they don't know, is because if they acknowledge it, they have to give accountability. You get it?
Yes.
God has put eternity in the heart of all people. Ecclesiastes told us, everybody knows they will not end. Everybody has eternity. The manufacturer put it there. You have put eternity in the hearts of men. Everybody, by instinct, we know we are not animals. How do we know? We all talk about the mind. Everybody accepts they have a mind, isn't it?
Yes.
Mind your business. My mind is tired. But where is your mind? Where is your mind? You only have a brain. Where is the mind? We all know our essence is invisible and eternal. This is only a body. That's why we bury it. We don't say we are burying the guy. We say we are burying the guy's remains. We all know that. Others even burn because it's not the guy we bury the remains. Anybody arguing about God is just pretending. Paul said even observing nature enough. It's enough. Observing just the clouds, it's enough. The beauty and the order tells you there's a master in charge of it. Listen, whenever they come telling me, oh, I married at 22, oh, and then we're here clashing, tell me, before you tell me the bullshit, admit the mistake you did. Yes, I know I rushed, but you see, I thought we are going to grow. They start now with excuses. Thank you. Just stop at the point of rushing. And even if the figure 25 was not known, I came to realize you don't need to know the figure 25 dogmatically. I tried to interview and realize, was it left so unfair that we had to be educated at what time is right to make decisions of life? So I thought, if then we are helpless, unless there's a teacher to mention the figure of the brain development, how shall we? Then I asked myself, before science was printed in papers, were people raising babies all the way to grown up? Yes, they were. And they knew at what age they should learn to walk, at what point they should learn to talk, at what point they should be. The phases of development of life are observable.
Yeah.
Even without a psychologist to tell you. The way your leg develops, at a certain age you can walk, at a certain age you can talk, it's the same way the brain is growing. At a certain age you become a grown-up. We all know it, we just hate to admit it, because if we all admit it, people are growing, and especially ladies, because they're the ones getting pregnant and all that, that at 25 they change to their mature version. If we admit it, we lose the victims we needed to use. That 18 to 24, they're very usable because they can't see. They have a body that you can use sexually, but they don't have a brain that they can tell the consequences. So they can be gullible and usable. If we admit that fact universally, we lose a whole group of victims.
Yeah.
And we need the victims to exploit for our own fun. You know? But by the time they come to me, they usually have potential for reflection. And they say, yeah, I used to sense like, but you know, guys were doing it. And one girl was saying, you know, yeah, I've never been single from the time I was 18. I'm 28 now. But I thought it's a rite of passage and everybody does it. When we come to college, did you used to feel guilty every time you undressed for a man at 18 when your breasts are hardly grown and you don't even see the world? You don't know who this is. You're just in a bundle of emotions. And you know you need this body 70 years to come. You know, and you're exposing it to things that can kill you, STIs. You can't even tell did you have an instinct? Yes, I do. I used to feel so guilty. I could fight with it, but thank you very much. God left it in you. You know, sex outside marriage is wrong. You always feel guilty before and guilty after. You feel the excitement, you fight with your conscience, and your conscience can get tired of warning you. And it leaves you. By that point now you are a vehicle without a driver. You know? So it's to say, what I've always wanted to ask them, if you made these decisions, if you reached a point, this one was telling me the way they fight physically, they wrangle, what did you think it was going to lead to? Inevitably, they say, I underestimated the consequences. The reason we stay with unsafe people, unsafe women, we underestimate the consequences. We downplay, I can handle it. Let me not expose my home. Really, are you aware there are many people who are being killed illegally, and there are no arrests that are done, but it is perfectly covered. But we know the man was killed.
Yeah.
That guy was poisoned. People know many people who are poisoned. Good guys stayed with an unsafe woman because he thought he can handle it. He does not want to expose it. People are in the same room, in the same house, they don't sleep in the same room. How do you trust a person to cook for you when you no longer have a relationship? And they say we are staying together because of the children. So the first condition is this person should be safe physically. Yeah. This person should be safe emotionally. You should not feel threatened that they can poison you, that they can do something. Number two, they should be fun. Fun is part of love.
Fun is part of love.
It's not debatable. The relationship should be serious, but it should not be grim and tense. In a serious relationship.
Yeah.
Serious here means committed. Serious means we are in for business for a long term. We don't play games. Games in terms of lying and hypocrisy. But we play in terms of making fun.
Yes.
The person should be fun. And I know for many women, and even sometimes nowadays young men, they are going for a person who is loaded. So they just look at loaded. They don't look at whether the person is fun. The woman can have a big sitting allowance, big this, she's loaded, or even with money. But is she fun? Are you easy around each other? Life is very long, and if you contract serious, heavy, they'll tire you. You need things that are easy. We can play, can laugh. We have moments of depth. We are not always talking. There's a time we say, you know, you have a vibe when you can enjoy each other's silence. You can just be in the same room. You're not quiet. You're not talking, just quiet. Maybe you're on your phones or this, but the vibe between you is good.
Yeah.
It's just when a story comes, we talk. Sometimes you doze off, you wake up. We are not always polished. We are not always in suits. We are not always this way. You know, sometimes we fall in love with what the packaged person.
Yes.
The one who's packaged to the full. No, we're not always packaged. Sometimes it's just there. Do you love that kind of person? Do you enjoy them? Do you feel at peace? If it was superficial, you know, sometimes people know the crush they have on that person is physical. Purely physical. You don't have a vibe. You don't have energy. You cannot connect. And you feel so addicted. But after you have dispensed that energy, there is no connection. There should be fun. Fun means you find each other's sense of humor. There's no sense of humor. You don't have to be an extrovert. Even introverts have their sense of humor. This is not about being talkative, talking every time. No. Just what livens you. Why do people marry somebody they say we hardly talk? They're always serious. Their energy is not even here. When you're in the room is strangers. Why are you married? You're not fun. Marry a person who is fun. The next thing is they should be generous. Generous with their time. If you are fighting to get their attention, what are you doing together? You need a person who is generous with their time with you. They sacrifice things to be with you. They stop activities to create time for you. And you know, many times, I don't know who taught us this thing of persevering. You don't persevere a person who has no time for you. Why? There are people here being persevere. We don't talk that way when you're buying cars. I'll persevere. You talk like that?
No.
No, I know this plot is prone to flooding, but I will persevere.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of perseverance?
No.
You want to buy what works.
Yes.
Not what needs me to persevere. In marriage, you also buy what works. Not what you need to persevere.
Yes.
Can you stop preaching perseverance? You persevere things like diseases, things that you can't control, and you can only sit through them and work through them with patience. But you don't deliberately get a person who you are struggling to get their time, they don't value you, and you are saying, I'm persevering. They should be generous with their attention, generous with their time, generous with their energy, generous with themselves. If you sense withholding, stinginess, and we are not saying, these ladies, when you start dating now, I should give you my money. Now I'm generous. Generosity for me as a man does not mean you're giving you all I have. It means at every juncture you can see I am liberal. I have a liberal spirit. I am easy to give. And people who don't give, they can't love. We mentioned the other day that people can get sexually and emotionally excited with you, but they don't have capacity to love. Why? Love requires sacrificial giving. A person who has accustomed themselves to the inconvenience of giving somebody. Of course, it requires prudence. Does not mean some people carry all their money to church, carry all their money to the poor, then they inconvenience our budget. No, that's not the kind of giving. There is also wisdom. But you don't want a stingy person who does not selfless, has not learned to put you first, to put others first in circumstances that require it. You cannot raise a family, you cannot build love if you are so selfish. The thin line between self-love and selfishness is self-love says, me too. I also need care. I also need rest. I also need to eat. I also need to sleep. I also need to be loved. Me too. Selfish says, me only. Me only. It's for me only. It's for me only. And they can forget about you until they eat to their full. They can forget about you to keep their money to themselves. Can forget about you. You know? Selfish is just all you. selfless, self-love is me too. I also take care of myself, but I also take care of you.
Yeah.
And remember, we said self-love is necessary so that you can remain healthy enough to take care of the ones you love. You need a person who is generous, and if you don't sense generosity with time, generosity with energy, generosity with openness, generosity with listening, if you don't sense that, don't go in. The other thing is accountable. You don't want a person who fears you so much that they can't challenge you. You want a person who challenges you when you are settling for less than you deserve. When you are becoming lazy or when you are compromising, when you need a person who says, I don't think that's right, imagine. I thought you should do this and that. If you stay that late in the home of a person who's married, I think you guys, you're creating a wrong perception. I am uncomfortable with that. You need to be able to say that I am uncomfortable, that I don't prefer this, that I would rather we did this, that I would rather we did that, that if this went this way. So part of why you need to learn fearlessness, it takes a lot of courage to challenge people because you don't know how they will react. But don't marry people before you challenge them.
Yeah.
Because one day you need to challenge them. And you need to have known whether they can withstand it. Don't marry only on lovey-dovey and butterflies.
Does this thing called lovey-dovey allow you to challenge?
Because actually you don't need to manufacture situations. Interact with a person and within a month, if you are talking daily, they will hurt you, they will cross you, but they will say something that doesn't come out right. They will forget to fulfill their promise. They will delay you. Something will come up for you to challenge them, correct them, critique them, disapprove. It will come.
Yeah.
The thing is, are you courageous enough to call it out when it comes? Funny enough, people end up respecting a person who has the politeness and still the firmness to say, I love you too much to see you deviate. That is what correcting in love says. I care so much, I don't want to see you deviating. What was your reasoning behind when you said this and that? When you said this, I didn't think it came out very kindly.
Yeah.
And you get, I meant this, or I'm sorry it came out that way, I did not realize it. Now you're challenging them. You need a person who can challenge you. And part of the problem we have is we marry people we worship. And I told you, Willie, if you marry a worshipful woman, you die. Nabal married a very wise woman, Abigail, but he was not correctable himself. He was incorrigible, so he died in his own foolishness, and the woman could not approach him to correct him because he was not correctable. The same woman went and rebuked a king. A woman is capable when she can correct you. Stand up to your madness. She was married to a fool, but she stood up to a king.
Yeah.
See, now, I understand my husband, who is anyway, by his name is a fool. Nabal means a fool. So this guy is a fool, and I understand that he has insulted you. And you are out to exact your revenge. It's okay, I understand. She was just saying in other words, that's what she was saying.
Yeah.
But I also know something about you, that your record is clean. Now, I'm just wondering, you are about to dirtify your record by killing a fool. What honor is there for a king to kill a fool?
This was a wise woman.
I know you guys are hungry. You had sent for some food from Nabal and he ashamed you instead. So I brought some food.
Yes.
If you don't mind, take this food, feed your animals, feed your guys and troops. Let this guy, his own foolishness will kill him. Thank you very much and forgive my manners. I just want. And the king, for being challenged, did what kingly men do.
Yes.
But I not only see your point, I also admire your courage. He said, I accept your correction and I respect your person. When you challenge people, you not only save them from self-harm, you also win their respect if they are kingly people.
Yeah.
Not foolish Nabals, wise Davids. Wise Davids respect. In fact, he was so challenged by the correction, he ended up marrying that woman. When he heard that the fool has died and the girl now is available, let me marry that girl. She can correct me when I'm going too far.
Yes. But I also note the package, how you package your message, very key.
She was wise. She fed his ego and his stomach. That's all you need to do with guys. Just feed. I know you're a good guy.
Yeah.
Your record is that of an angel.
Yes.
Acknowledge him. Leave long the king.
Yes.
But now this mission I was wondering,
Yeah.
does it rhyme with that record?
Yeah. He's a fool.
You know. And I have some food for you here. As you think about it, just.
Yes.
And by using wisdom, that she used a method called sandwiching. You sandwich, you start the positive, pleasant, you insert the bitter pill, then you end with another positive.
Yes.
And they're all true, they're not exaggerated. You make them brief and precise,
Yeah.
but sincere. Make them sound sincere. I wish I didn't have to say this, it's quite disturbing. But it's quite awkward, but
Let me just say it.
you know, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
You know, you need a person who can hold you accountable. The other thing, you need a person who knows your potential. Will you never marry people who don't know your capacity? You need a person who knows what you can do so they can hold you there.
Yes.
And it does not mean they have to be a journalist like you. They can be a banker and you're a journalist. But they know you can run a multi-million empire. They know you can ascend to national level, global visibility. They know what you are capable of in terms of scale.
Yes.
Does this say something about, does education levels matter?
Must we go there?
People keep arguing, and you know who is arguing? Between the one who is more educated and the lesser. And I told them, stop arguing about education. Argue about enlightenment. There are people who, the school fees do not allow them to go past Form 4. Our late Bob Colimo, one of the best CEOs this country has ever had, was only working with a diploma, and he was employing the PhDs because his degree of enlightenment was from here to there. He was so informed, he was so vast. He had educated himself. So I told them, instead of using school education because we will argue from here to Timbuktu, it was not my fault. You know, these are just grades. They're just testing memory. I told them, control what you can control. Enlightenment. Instead of saying, I know PhDs, you know, don't bash people. Don't let people stay with their papers. You marry on the level of degree of enlightenment. Marry a person who can reason together. They know your capacity. They see what you're capable of. They hear you. They get you. You drop hints. They pick them. They build on them. They have capacity to build with you. You know, you need a person who can discern potential, who is willing to risk with you. As I told you, some of the experiments you and your wife should be taking are embarrassing. You should not tell the world because you are tempted to keep rabbits. And the rabbits died, all of them. And the Willie was so embarrassed to tell anybody. But he and his wife just laughed it off. Laughed it, went on. I hear there's a crop being grown. When quails came, guys jumped to quails.
Yes.
So you can learn that there are some Koreans here.
Yeah.
And they want dogs. So we are going to keep dogs and sell to some
Koreans.
So some of the experiments you're going to do as you try here and there are not very presentable and explainable to the outside world. So you need a person who understands your experimenting nature and allows it.
Yeah.
You start something that ends up lousy, but you have known that's not your strength. So you go back there and they don't ridicule you for it. Because when you finally make it, and before I arrived here, I also did so many things. If you're marrying a person who cannot allow you those flexibilities to attempt, you'll be limited. But they believe in your potential. They know there's something you can do.
Yeah.
They just don't know what it is. You're thinking about it every day. Both of you are exploring it. You need a person who knows your potential enough to hold you there. Again, what have we said? You need a person who is safe, physically and emotionally, to be around. You need a person who is fun to be with. You laugh, you are relaxed, you're not always tensed. And we said if you're sweating and palpitating and shaking and panic attack as they come into the room, oh my God, as I call them, I think that's not love. That's addiction, that's fear.
Yeah.
You should grow. True love feels peaceful.
Yes.
It has separation anxiety. I'm missing you when I like you. But it's not, oh my God. That's not love. That's fear. And you need a person who's generous with their time, with their money. You need a person who is accountable. They can hold you accountable. They can challenge you. They can stand up to your madness.
Yes.
Encourage their freedom to correct you. If you don't hear criticism at home, you'll be crushed in the world. The criticism at home is coming in a software like Abigail, sandwiched. The criticism out here is coming in a crashing way. They don't care. Get criticism at home. It's bitter, but it's manageable.
Yes.
The other part, make sure the person knows your potential. They can hold you up to what you can do. They don't try to suppress you. They're not afraid of your greatness. Some people are afraid that if you become wealthy, you leave them. So they hold you poor. Do you see why you should not marry people before you decide the life you want?
Yeah. Very key.
If you jump from school into a relationship, which version of you are you selling? Moneyless, broke, starter, confused, not assertive. So the person will be expecting you to remain there. What if you took a year, even without getting the money, start talking the money? What if you took a year to start talking about Range Rover? Even before you buy the Range Rover, it is in your conversations. By the way, I intend to drive that car. I like it. This is a small Range Rover they brought.
Yes.
That my wife keeps talking about. Have you seen it? It's not bulky. There before, Range Rovers looked like for old people. It was bulky. But they brought a sleek one.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they call it Evoque or something. So it's sleek. So the young generation, I really like it. Even before you buy that, can we, as we date, say that's your favorite car and you aim at buying it? To see whether I can accommodate that. What if I wanted a girl who is just carrying Kiondo and going to the canteen? Now I know, this one talking about Range Rover.
No.
What if you wanted a mansion? A big home? Where you can ride inside, bike there, you're riding. Even if you dream of horses, you dream of growing flowers. Stay alone until you can decide it. Give names to your potential so that when you are marrying, when you are dating, you mention where you are going with your potential. For this person to know that's what you aim at. Should they try to hold you back? You ask them, didn't I tell you before we married that I wanted to tour the world? When I tell you I want to go to Sri Lanka, where are you uncomfortable? I told you that I aimed at touring the world. But if you had not sat with yourself, to know what you wanted, will you be able to verbalize it?
No.
And you're not saying you must discover everything. No. We are saying you should have general direction and height and the scale of where you want to go. So you need a person who can accommodate your potential, believes in your potential, cultivates your potential. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
And here we keep learning and learning and relearning. And remember, marriage is not parenting. It is partnership. And so it is not a one-man show. So not one spouse that should make all the decisions. You need to come together and agree and you'll be able to enjoy that marriage. Thank you so much for joining in. My name is Willie